I am your host, Should Not T. I am solo this week. Alon has some things to take care of, so you got me all to yourself. Yeah! This week, y'all, I'm going to touch on NBA playoffs. Round 2, Game 1 of the Eastern Conference between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics. And Round 2, Game 1 of the Western Conference, Golden State Warriors, Houston Rockets. I'm also going to touch on this weird thing that's going on between former Steeler wide receiver and now Oakland Raider, Antonio Brown, and former defensive back Ryan Clark. He's now an ESPN analyst. They've been going back and forth on Twitter for whatever reason. I think they have past history, or they used to be pretty decent friends, and now it's just all in the media. They just acting just really over the top. But first, you can find me, Shobi Not T, at Facebook at Shobi Not T, Twitter at C Not T, Instagram C Not T 3130. Celtics Bucks. That was a really good game yesterday. The game took place in Milwaukee. It was pretty close for the first half. And the Boston Celtics, they pulled that one out 112-90. But from my view, it was close early, but it really wasn't close later on. I kind of saw how the Boston Celtics were going to play the Greek Freak. They just basically isolated him. So, just really were physical with him and really just concentrated on him. They kept the other shooters at bay. To a certain extent, they were there, but they really were concentrated on the Greek Freak, and he struggled, man, early. Me and Alon was talking about this last week, that will possibly happen with Boston. The first series they played against Detroit, that was a wash. I mean, it was first round bye to a certain extent, because they weren't really challenged, and they were able to do what they wanted to do, and they really didn't feel any pressure. One seed against the 8th seed, so they took care of business like they're supposed to. But Boston is a more viable opponent. They should not have been that low. In my opinion, they had these struggles throughout the season, and they righted the ship towards the end of the season. Maybe the last month of the season, they started to play better and gel and kind of figure out the kinks, play like they did last season, carrying that same swagger they had that took them to the Eastern Conference Finals against LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was a really good game, but then I saw Boston just impose their will. I love the Greek Freak. I love him. I like him a lot. I think he's a great player. I think he is top 3 in the league, in my opinion, because he deals with a lot more. He doesn't really have highly touted guys on his squad. He's basically the force. He has a lot of, just complimentary players that do their part, and, most of the pressure is on him. So when they win or lose, he gets the credit and he gets the blame. And that's what I saw. I saw Boston, who's very well-rounded, very well put together, well coached. They have a plethora of talent. Starters off the bench, they are so deep. 1 through 8, 1 through 10, they are, they get high production. They know how to play off each other. They showed up yesterday in Milwaukee. I just think the Bucks need to play within themselves, get back to aggressive play. Middleton, Lopez, they played pretty good. Bledsoe was kind of a no-show. And all the other guys, Ilyasova hit a couple of shots. Mirotic came off the bench and gave them a little spark or push. But even when the game was kind of close in the first half, I never saw Boston rattled or worried. They had a pretty good handle on how to defend this team and how to approach the Milwaukee Bucks. And they're really going to have to bring it in order to kind of shift this momentum or the paradigm of this series. Because if they don't win tomorrow, to me, I think this series is done. So they have to do some soul searching, some really quick soul searching. Kyrie played well. Horford played really well. He put up 20 points. Kyrie put up 26. Gordon Hayward, he played pretty good. He's been pretty consistent the last maybe month or so. Jaylen Brown came off the bench, gave him 19. Rozier had 11. So they have balanced scoring. Marcus Morris, he came through with 9 points, but the points he had, they were key also. He didn't score much, but they were key. Boston they've gotten their groove, man, and it's good to see Kyrie starting to lead and not complain like he was before the beginning of the season. He's complaining pretty heavily about, he had to go back to LeBron, like say, apologize. It was reported apologizing, man. I didn't know, I have to apologize to you, bro. I thought I could just go over there and just, impose my will and just be that leader. But leadership, it's so many variables to leadership, man. It's not just what you say. It's about how you play, how you carry yourself on and off court, how you address and approach your teammates, and how accountable you are at the end of games when things don't go well. You have to take the brunt of, the blame as a leader. But yeah, Kyrie, I could see him being more of a team player, not so much about him. And even on the court for a while, it's been mostly about him. I think that's where a lot of the dissension came between him and the team. It was about him getting his, and he really wasn't concerned with, with involving his teammates as much. Now, I've seen him do it, but he's made an asserted effort this postseason this past series, the first round series and this second round series against Milwaukee. He's been doing that quite often. I saw him, draw the attention and kick to his open teammates, and they responded well. Their body language is together as a team now. So things are looking up. They are starting to look scary. This Houston Golden State series, everyone's pretty much been waiting on this. I wish this series, like everyone else, I wish it was like the Western Conference Finals instead of second round. But it is what it is. But it was a pretty good game. There was a lot of questionable officiating going on throughout that game of, fouls and things of that nature. But overall, it was a pretty good game. It was a fill-out game for both sides. Even though Golden State has beaten Houston for the last couple of years, they pretty much had a handle on them. Houston's played better and seemed more confident against Golden State throughout the year, and now they've met. This first game was kind of a chess match, back and forth. It was a chess match. That's the best way I can explain it early. And Golden State just did what they did, man. You can tell they scouted Houston, what they like to do, the pros and cons, and they really got after Harden early. They took Harden kind of out of his game. They got real physical with him early, and that just set the tone for the rest of the team. But to Houston's credit, they hung in there through their adversity, through the non-calls or the lack of calls that they felt they weren't getting, and they kept the game close. But I do want to touch on, I know Alon's going to kill me with this because he's such a Chris Paul fan, but I wanted to touch on Chris Paul. Yesterday, in my opinion, I believe that game was there to win, and they lost because Chris Paul didn't step up and do what he was supposed to do. Being this highly touted, highly paid guy, future Hall of Famer, numbers-wise, I guess, to me, I have a different opinion of Chris Paul. I think he's a really, really nice player, but it's just me. I'm not saying he's not great, but these are some of the things I've always seen in him. It's the reason why he has never won wherever he went. And he has had chances, in my opinion. He was with the Clippers. He had a chance or two to get them to the finals. To me, he's a tad overrated in big game situations. He's just not that guy for me. But he's a great player, in my opinion. But I see why, to my point, I saw yesterday why I feel the way I do. It was just validated. When it comes to Chris Paul and Harden being on the same team, we have to understand that those are two guys that when things don't go right, they start to complain and they get out of their element.
Oh my gosh.
I believe personally that Golden State recognized that. If I can see it, I know they recognize. I mean, they have coaches and staff that analyze these guys or their opponents all the time, their pros, cons, their weaknesses, their strengths. And I believe, because I saw it play out yesterday, and Golden State was a huge part of that by the game plan that they implemented towards the Houston Rockets. They got Chris and they got Harden off their game, out of their element. The rest is history. Everyone else fell apart, and the team, they just got them out of their game mentally. And that's where, to me, Houston has not grown. I thought they may have, but I saw little inklings of it not happening throughout the season. I was like, they look good, and it seems like they've grown. But then I saw instances where I saw that same old Houston squad from last year, and it showed up yesterday, and Golden State squeaked out a win yesterday. I mean, the game was there for Houston to win. But the Chris Paul, he just didn't lead that team like he was supposed to, or the way he's supposed to, as being a high-paid guy and all this praise he gets from a lot of people. I saw that not happen yesterday, and I've said it for a while. To me, he's a bit overrated to me. And the reason I spoke up on this for this very reason yesterday. He allowed the refs to get under his skin and the calls, and Golden State just took advantage of it. And Durant was just, he's just literally unstoppable yesterday. While everyone on Houston was at the refs and just out of their minds and out of their element. Durant just kept scoring and just doing his thing. But yeah, they have to turn around game 2. They have to really come in with a different feel. Like, you know what? Let's just let it all hang out. We're not going to worry about calls. And that shows me also, when you go into a game and you're worrying about calls, that shows me you're not totally secure about your stance or where you are with the team you're facing. You're still a little insecure about the team you're facing, because the true teams, they just go and they play. They're like, man, we still can pull this out. But they're micro-analyzing every little thing, every call. That shows some insecurity there, that they're not so sure that they can beat the Golden State Warriors, in my opinion. That's what I saw yesterday, and now the Golden State has seen this side of the Houston Rockets again, like they did last year. I wonder how they're going to approach this. Are they going to continue to do what they're doing, or are they going to feel like, okay, they see what they've done wrong? We fell into this trap last year when, the same thing happened, and then Houston came around and they just start not caring no more. They just start playing. They didn't care about the call. They just start playing, and they just, got to the element, and that's what caused the series to go 7 games. So we're going to see if they can make those adjustments against Golden State and push forward, because I want to see a good series, man. I don't want this to be quick. Hopefully Houston, just regroups, gets back to the core of what they've been doing all season, confidently getting out there and balling, not worrying about the refs. Let's see a good series, fellas. I have to touch on this Ryan Clark, Antonio Brown situation that's been going on for the last maybe month and a half to Twitter. For all of you all who don't know, Ryan Clark is a former NFL defensive back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was teammates with Antonio Brown, who was a wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now he's an Oakland Raider wide receiver. They traded him. And they've been having beef over the last maybe month or so. They've had issues in the past when they were teammates, but also they've been pretty cool friends. For some reason, it fell apart somewhere. I don't know where it happened, but long story short, they've been feuding. And they've been back and forth in the media, Twitter, back and forth, saying, meet me there, this and that, we can get it on, this and that. And it's like, I'm just so tired of this, man, especially from African-American brothers. It's like, why are we constantly fighting each other? Ego-wise in the media. It's like, these guys, come on, Ryan. Come on, Tony, you're too old for this, man. You have kids. You have families. Do you want to represent your family and your kids see you in this light? This is ridiculous. What are you holding on to? I mean, what is it that is pushing this? These egos, man. It's like, these are unnecessary egos, because it's like, you've had your time. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, why are you all fighting? I hate to see this amongst anyone, but really our African-American brothers. I don't know if it's a show. I don't know if they got behind the scenes and said, hey, man, let's call some rugged so we can get Twitter files or we get this attention. But I don't know, because that type of stuff happens nowadays. But I think this is pretty serious. They used to be really cool friends. I've heard that, Antonio, watches his kids, or he watches their kids are pretty cool together, or, they're pretty good friends, or, and I'm just like, dude, what is going on? Why are you all fighting in Twitter? I mean, what is this about? What is this really about? Why do we keep outing each other in the media like this? Back and forth, Twitter and this, so everyone can see it. This, and that. Instead of calling a guy, get on the phone. Let's have a one-on-one and have a conversation. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. Antonio doing this, Ryan Clark saying this. It's like, man, when are we going to just stop this? Have this professional approach in what we do, especially in media. And, Ryan Clark, but I'm not saying you're so much smarter than Antonio Brown. But you know what Antonio Brown is, man. He's a showman. He wants attention, this, and that. You carry yourself totally different, man. Why are you engaging in this rhetoric, man? This negative rhetoric on air, in public, in media. I know you guys can be better than that. Not only, just in media, but just as people. Matter of fact, go home, watch yourself on television. I think Ryan Clark may have alluded to that. He went home and he realized that, this is something that's in me that I need to get more secure in and stop allowing guys like Antonio Brown, not putting it all on Antonio Brown, you know what I'm saying? Because I think Ryan Clark had a hand in why Antonio was acting this way towards him. But guys, let's get secure. Let's stop being so insecure. I know you're on TV, you're in the media, people watching, and but at the same time, let's take the high road and stop all this mess. That will conclude the Sports Hennier show for this week. I would like to thank you all for listening. Once again, you can find me, Shobi-Not-T, on Facebook at Shobi-Not-T, Twitter, C-Not-T, Instagram, C-Not-T3130. Hey, hit that like button and subscribe free to this channel. We would really appreciate it. Help us grow this thing so we can continue to bring you this awesome sports content. I will see you all next time.